Where I was thinking, if
Yeah.
someone caught me jerking off, it's like, doesn't everyone? Go post it then. Everyone's going to be like,
Yeah.
oh, how embarrassing, but I do that too.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. My advice would be like, well, if it happens, like, just release it because they're going to keep asking for money, right? They're not going to stop.
Yeah, they'll never.
So anyway, I think this guy he paid them, right? And then they wouldn't stop. They're like, we're still going to release it. We want more money from you, the dumb cunt, right? And then get this. Yeah. So the person we know, who's our friend, I'll tell you another time, right? He comes to him. He's like, his cousin's like, oh, bro, these people are trying to find out this stuff of me, but it's not true. Like, they're just harassing me. He's like, all right, bro, I'll sort them out. Like, so he convinced this guy, his cousin, that it never happened. I was like, oh, it never happened. They're full of shit. He's like, all right. So then he started interrogating this person that's like, who's demanding this money, right? He's like, fuck you fucking cunt. I'll fucking meet up with you. And like, it was like staunching them. He goes, it's not even true. This isn't even true. Fucking post it then. Post it. So then the guy sent the video to him and it was true. So he had to fucking watch this video of his cousin fucking like just jerking off onto a camera and ejaculating. And he's like, bro, you fucking lied to me. You fucking lied to me.
Why would you lie to your own allies, man? You got to tell the truth if you want to weigh out, bro. That's so fucking stupid. Bro, they don't have a video of me jacking off. It's like, all right, don't worry, I'll sort them out. Check out this video. Oh, fuck.
In today's episode of the Sapiosexual Podcast, titled Alexa, Show Me the Identities of People Jerking Off to Porn, Kain talks about Tinder blackmail and people trying to sell masturbation videos for cash, whilst Eric has a wild night out which ends tragically. We talk about face video recognition and if you're ready for a wild world of it, with UK police trialling its use. Finally, we discuss a baby's first word is Alexa, and the implications of raising children with the internet and what the future holds for our super tech society. All this and much more on today's episode of the Sapiosexual Podcast.
Before we get straight into the episode, we are live on Instagram and Twitter. Follow us on the handle @Sapiosexual Podcast. If you enjoy the podcast, follow us on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, drop us a comment on the video and like it, subscribe on iTunes or the app of your choice. As always, if you enjoy the episode, please do reach out to people you think might enjoy this and give us a mention. You may even want to share the episode out on Twitter or Facebook. You choose the way you want to spread the good word.
Share the love, man.
Yeah, man.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Finally, welcome to another edition of the Sapiosexual Podcast. I am your host.
Yeah.
I am your host, Eric.
And I'm Kain. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So are you the fast and loose host? And am I the tight host? Or are you the tight host? Am I the fast and loose host?
I think you put them both together and you get a cum-splosion.
Combine them all together and you get fast, loose, and tight.
You get the infinity stones of assholes, and I'm be the dick, and you be the pussy, and we'll fuck them together.
My name's Thanos, and I'm going to pound that ass into Flanos. Dude, how you been, man? Like, we haven't done an episode in a while, man. I haven't talked to you in a couple of weeks, dude. It's been haps, man. It's been happening.
It's been haps. So the listeners will probably get a clear picture because it'll be continuities. But yeah, we haven't spoken in a little while, hey? Me. What can I tell you about the lands of the rising foe? Well, what happened to me recently was actually the last time we were hanging out talking, I was had my shirt off because it was quite hot in Vietnam.
Oh, yeah.
And then I swiped right on some babes.
Yeah, you like that?
And
you big guy.
so the one of the chicks was talking to me, and she's like, "Oh, I like your body, blah blah blah, this and that." I'm like, oh, "Okay." And she's like, "Send me a picture." I'm like, "Oh, I got my shirt off already. That's fine." And then I sent one to her while we're talking. not a sexual one, just I got my shirt off anyway.
Mm.
And then she sends one. She sends like a nondescript photo back. She's like, "No, send in a nude one." I'm like, "Okay, this is getting a bit weird. Why would you be asking me for a nude photo when some of you just met? This is just bizarre, bro. This is just so too weird, right?"
Yeah.
And then she sent me this other message that was like in Vietnamese. I'm like, "What the fuck does this mean?" And she refused to explain it.
Mm.
And then I said, no, block this chick, man. She's going to probably scam me or something, you know what I mean? Like, she's going to get a picture of me and she's like, listen, if you want no one to see your dick, because I want a dick pic, then give me fucking $500, and then you get next door you some sort of blackmail thing. It seems so.
Seems like a
right?
blackmail attempt, yeah.
A blackmail attempt, right? So I'm like, fuck off, don't talk to me again, and I blocked her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I got someone Vietnamese to translate the message, like, oh, it's disgusting. It's like about a girl who wants to like do all these weird things to you, and I'm like, okay, so she's got some generic copy and paste thing she sends to all these Vietnamese people, and she's probably just trying to get a white guy mixed in there because they got like supposedly more money. I thought that was really weird, right?
Mm.
But it made me think about another story that happened to one of our friends.
Yeah.
I can't say their name on the podcast, but anyway, so one of their friends, their cousin, right? He got not catfished, but similar situation on Tinder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some hot girl messaged him, hey, blah blah, you're really hot, blah blah. Let's go to webcams. Like, all right. So they got into webcams together, and then she convinced him to jerk off. And then she had her tits out or something, was showing a pussy or something.
Yeah.
So he jerked off and ejaculated or something, and then like never thought of it again or something, right? Except that like 3 days later, like, hey, we've got videos of you jerking off and ejaculating. Now you need to pay us $1,000 in the next 3 days, or we're going to release it online. And what they did was, right? They started messaging all these friends and saying, hey, we got a video of your friend jerking off. We're going to release it. And then making Facebook accounts and adding him, and like, this guy was freaking out, right? He's like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like,
bro,
right? So, but
this is like that episode of Black Mirror, dude.
yes, it's like Black Mirror, right? I started thinking of that Black Mirror episode.
Oh, fuck.
So the Black Mirror episode, I think the guy jerks off to kid porn and they record him and they catch him and they do something, right?
You see, that's the real problem with that one was like, he actually did something illegal. Where I was thinking, if someone called me jerking off, it's like, doesn't everyone? Go post it then. Everyone's going to be like, oh, how embarrassing, but I do that too.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. My advice would be like, well, if it happens, like, just release it because they're going to keep asking for money, right? They're not going to stop.
Yeah, they'll never.
So anyway, so I think this guy he paid them, right? And then they wouldn't stop. They're like, we're still going to release it. We want more money from you, the dumb cunt, right? And then get this. So the person we know, who's our friend, I'll tell you another time, right? He comes to him. He's like, his cousin's like, oh, bro, these people are trying to find out this stuff of me, but it's not true. Like, they're just harassing me. He's like, all right, bro, I'll sort them out. Like, so he convinced this guy, his cousin, that it never happened. I was like, oh, it never happened. They're full of shit. He's like, all right. So then he started interrogating this person that's like, who's demanding this money, right? He's like, fuck you fucking cunt. I'll fucking meet up with you. And like, it was like staunching them. He goes, it's not even true. This isn't even true. Fucking post it then. Post it. So then the guy sent the video to him and it was true. So he had to fucking watch this video of his cousin fucking full, like, just jerking off onto a camera and ejaculating. And he's like, bro, you fucking lied to me. You fucking lied to me.
Why would you lie to your own allies, man? You got to tell the truth if you want to weigh out, bro. That's so fucking stupid. Bro, they don't have a video of me jacking off. It's like, all right, don't worry, I'll sort them out. Check out this video. Oh, fuck.
So I think the resolution to that was essentially like,
let him do it. Look,
they paid him once. He paid them once, and they said, "Look, do whatever you want," and they just stopped. So it turned out to be okay, but still, imagine like your cousin comes to you and you have to end up watching a fucking video of him jerking off because
that'd be pretty bad. Like, I can imagine that would be pretty embarrassing. I mean, it's pretty significant. It's a significant impact if on your Facebook all your family members got sent this video of you jacking off. But on the same token, like everyone's doing that anyway. It's just that we were just unlucky that someone recorded you. Like, this is what you could say, right? They could say, "Look, I admit that I did these things, but someone must have hacked my webcam." End of story.
Exactly.
Look, you can't stop. Like you said, they're always gonna ask for money. You just gotta go fuck it, man. Do it then.
Don't negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah, you don't negotiate with terrorists. Yeah. The other rule is you don't talk about Fight Club. And the other rule is you don't talk about Fight Club.
What about you, bro? What have you been up to, man?
Like the weeks have been dominated by work and one too many nightcaps on a weeknight to relax after work. I'm a bit of a functioning alcoholic lately, but I did get one more usage out of the Don Draper effect. I was outside an old time arcade that's functions kind of like as a bar, dance floor combination arcade on Friday nights. It's around 8:30. They kick out all the kids. It's fucking awesome. So we're drinking I was just drinking double G&Ts all night. Man, I've given up on beer, dude. It's just gin and tonic, dude. I love gin and tonic with lime. It's delicious, dude. It's so refreshing, man.
That's
you
nice.
hate it, dude? Okay.
No, I like it. I like it with I like drinks with specific ginger in them, like chunks of ginger.
Okay.
Oh my god, so refreshing, dude. Ginger's refreshing.
Ginger is refreshing. It's kind of medicinal too.
It is.
But there was this one of the female bartenders. I mean, bear in mind, I was loose enough that I could just say whatever I want, but not in a slurred way. It's just the right amount of alcohol in my system. But anyway, I went out to have a cigarette and she was taking a break near the ashtray, and I was just like, oh man, might as well just activate Don Draper. So I just walk over and like literally have like a metal cigarette case. So I just kind of flipped it out in front of her, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't smoke. And I just like looked down at like the cigarette bin right next to her feet. It's like, well, you'll forgive me for being a bit presumptuous there. And then she just fucking laughed. And like that was just like a segue into having like a mad convo. Well, she had a boyfriend, but
pure John Draper though. That's Don Draper.
I was like, man, this fucking just works. It was like that just worked. I was like, just be Don Draper, man. If you don't know what they're gonna like yet, you just do Don Draper, man. It just fucking worked. Oh man, but the rest of that night I was so fucking I drank heaps, but I still was able to walk back to the station. The station was near my office. This bar and arcade place is actually near my office, and I had to get off at Central. So I'm like sitting there like I'm really blitzed and no one's with me, and I'm like, all right, just stay awake long enough to get to Central so I can switch to the Western line. Like the moment I sit on the train, I just fucking pass out. Like I just fucking I wake up like 3 stops past Central. I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, all right. I look up at the fucking map and I'm like, all right, it's 15 minutes for the next train. Make sure I wake up for that fucking train, or just stay awake and get on that train to get to Central. So I sit down on the bench and I'm just like, bang, I fucking knock out again. I hear the train stop. So as the doors open, I'm like, oh shit, I get up, I run onto the train. I'm like, all right, this will be okay. This will be okay. And then, I'm like, all right, I'll get off at Central. And I fucking pass out again on the fucking train. And I wake up at Redford and I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck am I again? I get off, but I managed to get this was the last train back home. And then, I almost missed my fucking stop. I had to sprint off the fucking train and the door closed behind me. I'm completely fucked up, right? And then I go to my car, and mind you, this is approaching winter here in Sydney. So I get in the car and I'm like, I can't drive. I really can't fucking drive. So, okay, I'll just lie in the back of my car until I'm sober. And I had a spare hoodie there, so I use it as a blanket. But it's like fucking freezing cold. I think it was 2 degrees or 3 degrees. And I'm shivering. I'm like, oh fuck. And, I think I toughed it out for 2 hours. I toughed it out. And then eventually I was like, no way, man. I was getting heart palpitation. It was getting so cold. I'm like, this is fucked. I'm getting exposed. So I was like, fuck it, I'm leaving the car here. I just gave in at around 3:30. I was like, fuck this. I'm taking an Uber home. So I took an Uber home. And then I went home and vomited and went to sleep. That was pretty good. That was my Friday.
I don't know how you slumbered to the car, man. I would have just Ubered straight home. The car, man.
It was so stupid, yeah. Actually, I could have gotten extra good sleep out of that.
It's a grog, though. You're just whatever, I just sleep in here. Yeah.
Grog. You make dumb decisions, right? Luckily, I didn't
make dumb decisions. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Other than that, Sorry, yeah.
I was just gonna say, the worst thing I can think about where I've slept in cars before is summertime. So you go out drinking, you're like, I'll just sleep in my car. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. So you get in your car, you fall asleep, and you wake up, it's 8, and you're covered in sweat. The sun's beaming. Everything in your car smells like feet and ass. You're like, oh, bro, and you're so dehydrated, you can't drink any water.
Fell asleep in the car, woke up in the taint factory. Oh man, no, I get what you mean. Well, other than that, I helped my cousin move houses on Saturday, so it was a bit of manual labor, which is good for the soul.
Nice.
Sunday I went to church, and that was that. That was my weekend, man.
Nice. Gotta repent for them sins.
Yeah, man. Sorry, God, for all the sins I'm about to commit.
Listen, man, I did all these things, but I apologize for our dad. That's why I got into heaven. Them's the rules.
Bye. Yeah, I got my apologized on prepay. I pre-apologized. Oh, shit. Well, that's work and life updated. Hope everyone was happy with that. Next up is the sports update. We got the ONE FC and the fucking ultimate fucking championship update.
Breakdown.
So I think you've been keeping up with all this stuff. I'm a little bit behind, so
yeah. Look, so I was gonna say, like, in terms of UFC, there's nothing really sticking out at the moment. You know, the usual sort of bullshit. But ONE FC, I've got some shit to say about ONE FC. So they had an event on recently, and our friend back home who is into boxing, I got him to kind of watch it. I was showing him a link or something. He was like, bro, this is fucking sick. He's like, this is fucking some cool fights. And I'm like, yeah. So the event's called Enter the Dragon. If you want to check it out, I'll send up a link.
Sick name. I didn't know they called it that.
Yeah, I know. Enter the
Dragon.
Yeah. And so they had there's a link I can post up where it's just like got highlights of like 6 fights that are fucking dope. So you can just check it out. You don't have to like watch the whole thing because it goes for like 5 hours. Anyway, main things I want to talk about, Shinya Aoki got defeated. So the Filipino guy beat him, I believe, and then Aoki beat him back. But then he got beaten by another guy. They both train in Singapore under Evolve MMA. So Evolve MMA has like some of the best jiu-jitsu and some good striking coaches over there too. But it's kind of weird that like the guy's the champion trains with the guy that's competing against him. And
that's a bit weird.
Guy's like half his age, just smashed him, bro. Oh, you know who he is? He's Angela Lee's brother.
Oh, it's Angela Lee's brother.
Yeah, man. He's the youngest, I think, youngest MMA champion ever. He's 20 years old in a big promotion.
Fuck, man, that's pretty good.
Fucking, it's sick fight. Oki gets him this armbar. His arm's like fully extended. He like flips out of it and then fucking knocks him out, bro. It's like, whoa.
Dude, it's
a crazy fight, man.
Angela Lee's brother too.
Angela Lee's brother, right?
Pedigree.
Gary Tonin, if you're into jiu-jitsu, he's a fucking phenom. He'll hook a guy in like 10 seconds. And then the main 2 things I want to talk about here, which leads us into interesting topics. So this guy, Sami Sana, defeated this jiu-jitsu... Sami Sana. This is a kickboxing match. Defeated Yoda Sanklai. I can't remember his name, but he's like... They're both Thai boxers. Had 100 fights. One's from France, one's from Thailand, right? 100 fights. Crazy fight, man. My friend and I were watching this, and we're like, dude, this is unbelievable, man. Head kicks, getting dropped every round. It was just unbelievable, man. It was like one of the best fights I've seen in a while, right?
Yeah.
Good decision. It was a really, really cool fight. That's all I want to say. But then the next fight, this guy, Petro Morikot and Giorgio Petrosan, right?
Yeah.
Petrosan has been like built up by ONE FC to be this really great fighter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he gets defeated. And apparently in the rules you weren't allowed to clinch. It was like something, but the referee's breaking them up. So they're just fighting. It's kickboxing, but it's not Muay Thai. So in Muay Thai you clinch a lot so you can knee and stuff, but kickboxing you shouldn't be doing that, right?
That's right, yeah.
But so this guy beats him in a split decision. And then because the owner doesn't like the decision and they were building this guy up, they're like, oh, there was a legal clinch strike. It needs to be a rematch. And then the guy that won is like, fuck you. I'm not rematching. I won the fight. It was a decision. Yeah. I won the fight. So they just disqualified him. It's a non-contest. Really? And the other guy who lost goes to the final, which is for $1 million.
Oh, damn. That's fucking...
What the fuck?
There's actually like a huge amount of money on the line there as well. Mm-hmm. Like, and so you got the owner making executive decisions on this. That's fucking ridiculous, dude.
So that's a problem, and it leads into something else I'm going to bring up in a second. But the main thing is like there's no governing body there. So because in like MMA in America, right, there's a governing body that tells you like way the things are. You can't fix things, right?
Yeah.
But in Japan, there's no governing body. It's just like ONE FC going, we're going to do this. Like they can do whatever the fuck they want, which is a mad issue, man.
I think it's like they seem to have less respect for the rules as well. Because like UFC, you know, they bring in judges and then they respect the judge's decision. Simple as that. I mean, ONE championship, they brought in judges and then they've just clearly chosen to ignore the judge's decision. I mean, there's just less respect for the rule.
Man, it's not good, bro. It's not good.
Just like you said, there's a lot of money on the line for a mixed martial artist. $1 million is a fuckload of money. I mean, for anybody. Really.
That's life-changing money, man. Yeah. Life-changing. So in saying that, right, there was another fight. So Sage Northcut, I don't know if you've seen him before in the UFC. He's this really like jack guy. He's like 22 years old.
Yeah.
He's a really like family valued like conservative type thing. Like he goes, if something's annoying him, he's like, "Jolly gee, thanks, Mister Whatever." Like that's how he talks. Like he talks like a 1950s cartoon. Like
like with no sarcasm whatsoever. He's got that.
no, he's like
golly.
"Jolly gee." Yeah. But he's like this 6'2" guy. It's just like jacked. Like he looks like a statue. He looks like he's on steroids, but he's not.
Yeah.
And he's just a statue of a human.
Yeah.
And he fucking fucks people up in a cage fight. But he's like, "Oh, jolly gee, Mr. Aoki. I'm sorry about that." Like that's how he talks. It's fucking hilarious.
Is he British?
No, he's American.
Oh,
he's
okay,
like, you know the 1950s cartoons?
Yeah,
like, drinking milk and hanging out with your friends? It's like that, right? That his dad is like a stage mom. You know those people that like dress up their kids and beautify them? So apparently he's like a nightmare. They're a nightmare to work with their family because they've kind of like pushed him into him being this mixed martial artist. So it's really weird, man.
Sounds strange.
It's really, really weird. It's weird. Anyway, so he fought this guy and he was expected to like smash this guy, right? Except this Brazilian he fought, who's like a beast kickboxer, punched him in the first seconds of the fight and broke his face like in 9 pieces and knocked him out. He's never been knocked out. Just bang, knockout.
Jeez.
He got sent to the Shadow Realm, man. Like straight cold knockout, right? So awesome clip. You want to check it out. But the interesting thing I want to say about it is with Sage Northcut. Is he said that they didn't check anyone's weight.
Really?
So he weighed up on a scale and they didn't know who checked his weight or whatever happened. They're like, "Oh, I guess we did hydration tests." So they could be saying whatever they want, man.
So is that because they were just disorganized? Like, or was that like part of the policy?
There's no public weigh-ins. It's like, "Oh yeah, he weighed in on weight."
Really?
Yeah, man. So this is the thing. It's like, oh man, like I like ONE FC. The fights are unreal, but then after hearing what's going on, you know, the president's overturning fights. They're not doing these proper weigh-in checks. Oh man, it's a bit of a sideshow there.
Because like I was in favor of some of the like the hydration test. Well, who knows if it's not doing the hydration testing properly, if they're not doing this properly. Like something basic like weigh-ins probably.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe they're letting in their favorites come in overweight so they can just fucking let them fuck up people. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man. And in Japan, Pride, man, back in the day, they didn't do that shit properly.
It's very disappointing. You think Japanese people are, you know, they're pretty good with the rules and discipline. But, you know, the fight game's run by all sorts of shady characters. There's always shady characters in fight sports, you know. Yakuza seem to get involved at some point and all these things.
I'm sure there's some Yakuza involved. Yeah,
one other fight news. Deontay Wilder and Brazil. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right. He got sent to the fucking Shadow Realm, bro.
Shadow Realm, dude.
He got fucking
deleted. .exe.
Oh, dude, he got deleted, dude. That fucking meme of like they animated the fucking Infinity Glove on Deontay Wilder's right hand, and when he falls to the ground, they just animated him like disintegrating away. It was so fucking good, dude. And like apparently it was like bad blood between those two. Like Deontay Wilder normally never says anything bad about anyone. Like he's usually like a nice. It's like kind of Mike Tyson in his early years, right? But after the fight, he was like, you know, there's bad blood between us, and you know, it's the only sport where you know it's completely legal to kill a man. And I was just using my right. He was like, "Who talking shit about it?" And like, you never hear him talk shit like that, and that was interesting.
I have to say, he actually has said that 3 or 4 times before fights now.
Oh, really?
He's made that. He said that line, but no, you're right though in your assessment because he's a really good dude. He's super cool. He's like down to help out social cause. Nicest dude in the world, but it's his like promotion tactic, but it makes him look like he's kind of a dick, eh? Like, you know what I mean? It's not a fight, but
it's not that entertaining. He's like he's a dick in a way that's not that entertaining either.
Yeah, like if it was his stick to be like a Mayweather, like I think it would be like, that's his stick, but he's generally this really cool, respectful dude. Like look at the fight between him and Fury. He was like super respectful all the way up. There's a little bit of shit talk, but not much. But you know what I mean? It wouldn't suit his character. So, yeah, you're right. It's interesting, man.
It's kind of out of character. He must have really hated the guy, you know?
Yeah.
Well, have you seen that clip? You know that troll that troll boxer guy just trolls cunts. Like gets them to
Yeah.
blood.
Oh, I can't remember his name, but yeah,
Have you
Deontay
seen-
Wilder fucks him.
Yeah, because he was calling Deontay Wilder talking shit about his daughter, so he shows up. And like, if you look at the video footage, Deontay Wilder doesn't even put the gloves on properly. He has them on the wrong hands. Like, he's just so pissed off. He's just hurrying up, puts the gloves on the wrong hands. And he just fucks him up. The guy's lucky he didn't die, actually. And also, the guy's lucky that Deontay Wilder gave him the time of day, even though it was for all the reasons he wanted to kill him. But like, it's like, hey man, you got the box with Deontay Wilder. I mean, he was trying to fucking kill you, but you know.
Can you imagine getting punched in the face by him though?
You can actually die. I mean, you know, if you're not a trained boxer, he can actually just kill you. He can kill you, you know? It's fucking crazy.
You gotta be some type of crazy to be fucking Deontay.
Yeah, man. It's like, I mean, the guy must be on the spectrum, that dude. I mean, to be able to do, like, who else has the nerve to call up one of the best heavyweights? Like, he's up there. Well, I don't know if he's proven it yet, but he'll be up there with the greats one day. And talk shit about his daughter to him. And like, it's not a friendly sparring match. Like, Deontay wanted to kill this guy. He's fucking lucky he even bothered to put gloves on.
He's lucky he fucking didn't like hurt him.
Yeah, he could have killed him
Properly.
if he really wanted to. He really could have. It's insane, man.
One thing I will say about that fight though is it's just disappointing that Fury, Anthony Joshua, and Wilder aren't fighting again. And Fury, Wilder, and AJ are all booked in different fights again. They're not fighting each other, man. That's what we want to see.
They're booked in for different fights for like the next
Again.
it's like for ages, and I don't understand that at all. Like, everyone knows the only fights that need to happen are a rematch with Deontay Wilder and Fury, and the winner fights AJ. That's all that needs to happen right now. I don't understand this. They have everything to lose by fighting other people because it can potentially weaken their own claim to be the next challenge. I don't know what they're thinking. This is bad for business. How much money they'll make. Though. That rematch would have been huge money. Fury and Wilder again, and the winner against AJ. The hype. There will be like 2 years at least of hype. 2-3 years of hype. It would be crazy. I don't know why they're not doing that.
And this is the sad thing, right? They get paid hundreds of millions of dollars, but you flip over to the UFC, like, you get to see the best fights all the time, right? They will happen, and they have to do it because otherwise they get kicked out of promotion. But
Yeah, I love
paid
that.
Peanuts. That's the thing that sucks, man.
Like, how can we pay them right for... Well, it comes back to, like, how other team sports like the NBA works, where it's like, yeah, you got this one league and one association, but you got different franchises all competing, so they all end up paying their players heaps. So it's kind of like best of both worlds, right?
Yeah,
that's the
I think
format that
NBA
works
is good.
best.
NBA is a good model. You're right.
Yeah, because like you got all the franchises there, you know, competing for the best players, but it's all in the league. And then, I mean, it's a team sport anyway, so it's one of the sports where the best always play the best in ball games, so they don't have that problem. But somehow, if they could just have the same sort of thing happening in UFC, where you have like teams or franchises within responsible for paying their people and somehow creating this competition equals better pay for everyone. That's what happens when it's more competitive. Everyone benefits, really. No one likes a monopoly, and UFC's got a bit of a monopoly on MMA in the West.
Well, everyone wins except for the fighters. That's the cool part. You and I get to see cool fights. They're always on. It's interesting as shit. But these guys just get fucked over. It's like, whatever.
After a while, it gets overwhelming. Like, when there's like an event every month and then plus a minor event in the same month, you're like, this is a bit of a meat grinder, man. You get just chucking these people in a cage, just fucking each other up constantly. You get this feeling.
It's a meat grinder, dude.
Yeah, I get this feeling like I'm starting to get a bit. Like, I like MMA, but you get a bit disgusted. Like, this is a meat grinder. Hey, check a few dudes in, pay them a couple $1,000, get them fuck each other up hard. Like, it's like,
man.
In other hype sports news, the finals, it's finally here. The NBA finals. So the Eastern Conference Finals is over. The Raptors knocked out the Bucks in a close series, a fairly close series. It was 4-2. So the Toronto Raptors, their first appearance in the finals ever, which is fucking epic. And the Warriors, predictably, clean sweeped in the Western Conference Finals. They clean sweeped the Portland Trailblazers, which I was a bit surprised. I thought they could do a little bit better than that. But they managed to do that with Kevin Durant injured the entire time. Like, they're such a super team that one of their best players is out, and they still found it relatively easy. I mean, there was some close games. They kept winning by like 2, 3 points, 4 points, 5 points, but it just never looked like they were ever. They just didn't look like they were in any threat. It was a clean sweep. It was 4-0. So it'll be Raptors versus Warriors. I'm pretty sure the Raptors are going to lose this pretty hard. Maybe it'll be like 4-2, 4-3, 4-3 at best, probably 4-2, something like that. But pretty proud of Kawhi Leonard. He's their leader. It was like Leonard, Gasol, Lowry. It's a good team. And funnily enough, Jeremy Lin is on the bench of the Raptors. So he's finally going to his first finals too.
So this is on Friday, right? Friday is a game.
It's,
game 1.
Game 1 is actually tomorrow. Actually, it's tomorrow. So Thursday. It's actually Thursday, game 1.
I think Friday our time.
Yeah. Friday our time. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be at work, but I'll probably have like a little stream running on the corner of my screen.
I'm going to watch it too, man.
Fucking watch it, dude.
To see it. I will. I'm looking here. The odds are Raptors are favoring, man.
Really? The Raptors are favoring?
Yeah, dude.
That doesn't make any sense, man.
They're favoring. It's $1.85 for Raptors, $1.96 for Warriors, man.
That's crazy. I would take Warriors on this one, man. Or it could be because Iguodala is also
Someone's injured.
injured. Yeah, that's 2 of them.
That might be okay. That makes sense. I was going to tell you something about that. So, I don't know if you know. So Max Holloway, he's a big Raptors fan.
Oh yeah,
and so is our friend Drake.
Drake is a fucking owner of the Raptors.
He's owner, right? Anyway, you remember Spike Lee with the Mets?
Yeah.
Remember how Spike Lee used to like run on the court and he'd like yell shit at the fucking players and the coaches and like all that shit? Fucking Drake does that now, bro. It's so annoying.
It's so annoying.
So annoying.
Whenever something good happens, he starts like shoulder rubbing the coach. I'm like,
dude.
He's doing like shoulder rubbing the coach, and I'm like, dude, like I get it, you own this team, but you don't know shit about like let these people do their job. These are the professionals. This coach, he's got fucking like strats in his mind. He's fucking watching the plays. He's trying to figure out what system's gonna beat their system. You're fucking interrupting him with your fucking I'm a celebrity shit. It's like, we get it. You got fuckloads of money and you bought a fucking basketball team. Good on you, man. Just get off the court and just watch. You know, like he's a dick, man.
He's just inserting himself into everything. It's his strategy.
But you know what? When you got big money, you can do big things. Like a fucking NBA team, dude. That's fucking sick, though. I wish I could own it.
Dude. There's a video. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it wasn't the It wasn't the Eastern Conference Finals. It was the semis. Game 7. I think it's like the first Game 7 buzzer beater in I can't remember. But it was Kawhi Leonard. He just fucking nails this 2-pointer over Joel Embiid, the process. But man, watching Embiid shattered with that buzzer beater at Game 7, it was like Leonard put fucking dagger in his fucking heart with that shit. He was just full crying. He was like walking all the way to the fucking locker rooms crying. And I was like feeling sorry for him. And then his like fucking hot ass wife comes out to console him, and then I didn't feel sorry for him anymore. I was like, you got a fucking hot ass wife like that? I don't feel sorry for you, nigga. Good times there. Good times there.
I was gonna say with Drake as well though. There's a video of him on Twitter, right? So it's after like the Raptors win or whatever, and he's obviously on coke, man. Like it's so obvious he's on coke.
Really?
Like he's just like, oh man, you know, we didn't believe in us, and then we said we're gonna do this. And his eyes are glazed over, and he's like screaming at all these reporters, and he runs off. You're like, bro, you're so high. Like, so next time you're watching him on court, he's running around. See if he looks like he's a bit drugged up, because he generally is, man.
All right, I'm gonna be watching that. that. I have to say, like, I've just been enjoying this season's playoffs so much more than in previous years. I mean, some years I've ignored it, really. Ever since I actually watched an NBA game live and like watching a couple of them, I was like, man, I just really appreciate the fucking skill level again. And there was this one weekend I was with the family. It was Mother's Day actually, and we were watching one of the replays, and like even my grandmother was getting into it. And I realized in the Philippines, it's such a cultural thing, because like we had 4 generations under one roof watching this game and talking about it. I just thought that was interesting. Like I had my cousins there, my parents, my uncles and aunties, my grandmother sitting there. And she's got her great-grandchildren too, and they don't know shit about anything. They're just like, I like the blue team better. And the other one's like, I like the red team better. Yeah. But I'm like 4 generations under one roof, watching the Warriors fucking sink the Rockets. I'm like, this is fucking sick, actually. It's newfound appreciation for its importance, you know? Oh, man. Sports ball. Well, that's enough about sports ball. What's been happening in the news, man, especially in the UK?
So the UK, our favourite place. So there's a topic I want to talk about, and there's something else to talk about a little later when we to brief something because I think UK might be a bit of a theme in this one.
Mm.
So the UK, several UK police forces have been trying technology, which is automatic facial recognition.
Mm.
So what that means is they've got these vans that are linked up, and they have they're scanning everyone's face that in and out, and they're automatically testing to see if who they are, their identity, their details, and whether or not they can arrest them or interrogate them for whatever the hell they do, right?
Mm.
Super friggin' scary, right? And there's this video, so they're just trialing it, and a guy walks past and he covers his face. He's just like, I don't want to be facial recognized. It's a free society. He can put his shirt over his face. It wasn't even over the whole of his face. He just put up to his nose and walk past.
Mm.
So they stop him, give him shit, and say, pull your head in, man. You shouldn't be doing that. And then give him a fine for obstructing police.
Yeah, fuck. £90 fine. Yeah, it was like, yeah, fucking pull your neck in. I'm like, why are you being cunts, dude? Like, everyone has a right to what? If you're not a criminal, you feel that you've done nothing wrong. Why should you have the police scanning your face as you walk past? Like, what right do they have to that? I mean, I haven't done any sort of analysis on the, but there's clearly something going wrong here when they're openly using this technology, which are probably intelligence agencies are probably already using this. I mean, that's how they fucking track down terrorists and stuff off. They use blurry CCTV footage. They still manage to fucking track down these people. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it, but
enhance. Enhance.
Enhance. Yeah, enhance that taint. If I was a fucking spy, I'd just be spying on everyone's buttholes. Yeah. Zoom in on that ass. Fly the drone down to 100 meters altitude and you check out her ass. Yeah,
we have the technology.
Double O. Oh fuck! No, there's something deeply uncomfortable with that. I don't know how else to put it. I haven't really thought about how the law works. It's just privacy is being invaded here. Clearly,
sure, it's a public place and whatnot. Yeah, great, but I don't need cameras scanning my face and knowing everything.
Yeah,
that's just too far. And I think the UK has been trying to be a proponent of making your online alias with your actual details. So imagine anything you say, talk about, do is then now linked to a Facebook or social media account, which is linked to facial recognition. So you walk past and they go, I know everything about this guy, political leaning, what he does in his spare time, what he doesn't like. That's super scary. This is literally 1984 becoming part of Britain,
Facebook AI, I mean, it's not just AI driven, but they already have a
face
hidden
thing.
No, that, and they already have a hidden assessment of what your political leanings are. There's a way to find out what Facebook thinks about that. It's not easy to find in your settings, but you can download it somewhere. That they're already running assessments on you, and that's the thing you mentioned there with the shadow profiles. They do profiles for people who don't have Facebook based on the phone numbers in people's phones for people who do have Facebook. They sort of create a network of it, and the AI starts reading all this data and tries to figure out what this person is or what they're like and who are their associations. They create shadow.
That's scary.
And it's getting easier to do because of AI. AI and machine learning is making this shit easy to do. We've had some developers go off to take up opportunities, and the theme that I'm hearing is a lot about analytics, AI, machine learning, and how it's going to enhance all these different professions. But it's creating a scary world, man. It's creating a scary world when it comes to technology, like how it's going to change, because it's going to start asking questions that we haven't even thought of the answers for. Like that stuff about shadow profile. A machine automatically does that based on the information that people all agreed to give when they installed the app. The app's like, can I see your contact list? You're like, I suppose. Can I see your photos? Like, yeah, all right, click allow. You don't realize that in the world pre-AIs, it's impossible to have a team of analysts looking at that shit. There's literally zettabytes of data, which is billions of terabytes of data. There's no way a normal person can sift through it. But when you've got AIs and machines that can learn to read these things faster and better and in more useful ways, now we've got to start asking questions, and we've got to have the answers for them too.
I feel like this step specifically is a step towards marrying real life. Yeah, sure, it's used to catch criminals or people doing the wrong thing, whatever. Yeah, great thing, yeah. But you're literally linking the real world to the online world where if you do something or you say something or something's completely out of line, it might even be a crime. You could potentially get pretty exposed very quickly, and the ramifications of that are pretty scary. It's a very scary world.
It's the kind of technology that they're gonna, the China would use to implement or enforce their social credit system.
Yeah, you do say you spit at someone or like you're rude to someone, then someone sees your face, and oh man, that's.
And you got AIs running on this.
Black Mirror.
Because obviously you can't have a person analyzing each person all the time, but you have AIs that can do this. The thing about
job for you.
We're about to live in a new world. Obviously, we don't have AIs that are actually like self-conscious or whatever, but we have these machines that are learning to be better at the things that they do automatically, right? That's what this whole machine learning thing is. And these AIs, they're getting better at these things. They're improving themselves to do these things, like analyzing what you've been fucking doing all day. You can get AIs just tracking all this shit. Pretty scary, man. We're living in a brave new world, and our relationship to technology really has to be. We have to analyze our relationship to technology because it's going to change society, and it's changing society faster than it ever has before. Technology has always been the biggest drive of social change, and if technology is changing at a rate faster than it ever has, well, that means that our society is going to change faster than ever, which is a segue into this next article. So it was reported by Mirror UK the other week. Catherine Gates, age 26, mother of 2 from Blandford Farm, Dorset, was completely taken aback when she heard her 11-month daughter, Annabelle, utter her first word. Now, instead of the usual mama and dada, Annabelle tapped the home's Amazon Echo and repeatedly blurted out, Alexa. She even said it several times while being baptized in church. Now, the couple Catherine and Liam have attempted to make her say mummy and daddy, but for now she's sticking to her own first word. Okay, now think about that, right? I am certain this is the first generation in human history for whom a baby's first word wouldn't be mama or dada. It's not just something interesting, right? This is the first generation where our relationship to technology is so intertwined at such a young age that Alexa might actually be your first word instead of mom and dad. What if it's okay Google, What if it's okay Google or Alexa or, hey Bixby, Like, I mean, for this person, it's just something funny, I suppose. It's just her first word. But it's symbolic of where our relationship with technology is at. It's really reached, in some ways, sort of a peak invasion or interference in our lives, But yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that? Like, what are your thoughts on that thing?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like literal coming of like hell in Space Odyssey. It's like mum or dad or this overseeing object, It becomes a manifestation of like a family. Like you're literally replacing people with a robot to say, hey, can I do this thing? The computer has selected no or yes, you know what I mean? Like
exactly.
That's so fucking weird. Can't believe that. That's when I saw that. I was like, what's such a weird thing?
Hey mom, can I go out today? The computer has decided that it has a 15% detriment points to your academic score. Can I go out on your bike today?
Oh, dude, we're not far off, man. We're not far off from that being real, man.
Your mother is at work today. You have been docked 2 desserts. Okay, Alexa, you fucking bitch.
You've been deducted 3 desserts for profanity. You can just say it, right?
Amazon's a shitty company. You have been deducted all your food.
But dude, man, you can see it like hate speech, right? It's kind of going back to like the last thing we're talking about, mixed with the thing, right? The UK, they're getting laws about hate speech or some crap now, and the police, right? This is how fucking embarrassing the police are. There's pictures of them all over Twitter, like in high heels to celebrate gay diversity and makeup. They don't have guns. They're going around on Twitter now correcting people that say bad things about Muslims or bad things about gay people. Like, oh, I don't actually particularly like gay people. So then the Scottish police and the UK police went to people's houses and actually like spoke to them and said, you can't be doing that. We're going to charge you harassment. It's like, what the hell, man? Like, it's literally at this point now we're bleeding into all this.
Don't people get it? If you have a speech police, you essentially have a thought police.
Yes.
And a thought police has been proven time and time again to be a terrible, terrible idea. It's something terrible for society. You can't have Your thoughts are not illegal. Your thoughts cannot be illegal, you know? And even, well, some things that you say can be, like inciting violence can be illegal, right? But outside of that, it's not illegal. It's just something you say. You can't have a thought police. I don't know. The moment they start policing our thoughts and our words, you're not living in a good society. And the UK keeps edging ever closer to all this. It's just this weird police or nanny state, and
it's weird.
So
it's
far
scary.
removed from their proud history. They have a history that has some bad things in it, as with all histories. But they also have a lot to be proud of. I mean, they wrote the Magna Carta. That was like first time anyone thought a person should actually have any rights. Think about that. They came up with that idea when you had kings and lords and warriors and whatever the fuck they wanted, as long as they were strong enough to do it. You know?
Yeah.
They thought of this idea about people having these rights, you know, the basic rights of man in their kingdom, you know. It's a brilliant fucking piece of writing. It's this piece of writing. It's so important. Where are they now? So far removed from their grand tradition, you know. I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's scary. And going back to Alexa as well, I wanted to thread these two together related. So you got a machine that's like an arm of Google or an arm of an AI, right? That tells you answers like, "Hey Alexa," like remember you asked your parents back in the day, like, "Hey mum, what was this war about?" Or "Hey mum or dad, what was it like growing up here?" Or like, you know, they give you a perspective, a subjective perspective, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And now you've got a computer that, based on their own, say, unconscious bias algorithms, or perhaps a system where they move out racial bias. And I show this to you, right, on Google, right? You go into Google, you type in pregnant black woman. It comes up in images, all black women just pregnant, right? You type in pregnant white woman. It's a bunch of white women. It's a bunch of Asian women. It's a bunch of white women smoking and drinking while being pregnant. It's like, how did that algorithm come out, right?
How does that algorithm work? Yeah, I don't understand.
I don't know. Type it up, guys. You want to see it for yourself and let's see what Google is doing, right? Yeah. So you've got these AIs running all these different programs, and if this kid's saying Alexa as its first word to mum and dad, and in the future it's asking, you know, next generation's asking questions to Google or Alexa, it's literally spitting out this warped version of what they want. You know what I mean? It's not going to be clear cut and objective.
It doesn't even have to be special algorithms. For example, if kids grow up asking Alexa questions, which that's actually a really good point. You won't ask your parents anymore when you know you'll get a better answer off the internet. Exactly. So you'll ask Alexa, right? And you've asked Alexa a historical question or a factual question. It's probably going to like maybe link to Wikipedia or something. Pull up a Wikipedia article and read it out to you. Those are written by certain people with certain biases, you know? I mean, just the fact that increasingly people are going to get used to asking these machines for knowledge and guidance, you know, and it's really just off the internet. So it's really to what extent are your kids being raised by the internet? You know,
yeah, that's
you're letting your kids be raised by the internet.
Raise the internet, yeah.
To some extent, they already do that. Whenever they keep giving these kids phones and YouTube and Netflix, you're letting your kids be raised by the internet, man. My cousin's I have to say, my cousin, he's done a mad job with kids on this. Like, they have a phone at home, and it's only for taking photos of the family. Nah, you don't have any internet. Nah, you can't watch YouTube except for very, very specific moments. Because he just has them in sports. Yeah. It's like sports, dancing, music. That's it.
How old are they?
They're in primary school now. I can't remember how old. But they're all in primary school. Man. One of them, like, she's playing, like, netball, tennis, rugby.
That's sick.
And then she does dancing and some other music thing. And, like, he's just got them into stuff. Like, just to have them enjoy their childhood by doing stuff and not being so over-obsessed with TV and apps and phones and things. But, you know, once they reach their teenage years, they're going to fucking scream for a phone.
There's no escaping that. You got
cross that bridge.
But
why give it to them too early? It's true. Like, you can hold it off for as long as possible. And then when they really need it to be maybe socially acceptable, maybe that's when you give it. Because they'll be ostracized. If they have no mobile phone as a teenager, probably get ostracized a little bit.
Oh, you can't do it, man. You can't do it these days. They'll get their own money. You can buy a smartphone.
It's so cheap. You can buy a really cheap one. Yeah.
When it gets to that point,
yeah,
it's inevitable.
That's another thing as well. Like, how do you stop kids now from like looking at crazy like stuff on the internet when they have the internet in their pocket all the time? It's so hard to control what they're going to be exposed to.
So yeah, I think we've talked about this not on podcast, but it's a super interesting topic because like look at I think Snapchat. I've said to you if you
Yes.
the Snapchat's I think one of the most popular apps, and I've got younger sisters that are and cousins that are between the ages of 10 and 15, right? You click on their explore page. They changed it. It used to be able to Snapchat friends. That's it, right? They made this new explore page where it's full of like complete liberal ideas about you should take drugs. What was it like doing speed? What was it like doing ice? You should try these drugs at this time. It's like, this isn't appropriate for kids. Then there's another article saying about cheating, like how people explain the experience about having polyamorous relationships. Or there's another article talking about Cardi B and how she like sucked someone's dick or did something like this. It's like, it's a 10-year-old. I open up my page. I'm like, oh, I'm an adult. Maybe I can look at this stuff, right?
Yeah, I think I've like seen an article like, oh, why you should have a black boyfriend. I'm like, what? What's
yeah,
that?
Okay, but exactly right. But then I open up on my 10-year-old cousin's phone, and it has the same articles. I'm like, yo, this is scary, man. You can't filter this directly to kids. You're literally like brainwashing them, man. This is scary.
It's a form of propaganda. It is, and in some ways, it's a form of propaganda because what you've got is curators that work for Snapchat deciding what shows up on your front page. I mean, maybe it's an algorithm. I don't know, but it's curated to an extent, and it's feeding you all the shit. Rarely ever do these algorithms ever give you. I don't know. It's not algorithms. Really, there's an agenda behind it. You can tell straight away when you look at the page. You're like,
it's an agenda. It's absolute agenda.
You're trying to make everyone real loose with it. Like, you're trying to loosen up our morals. You're trying to loosen up people's morals. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to raise. There's people out there who are convinced that this happy future for society will come about as long as you just loosen up everyone's morals, and it's all the bloody conservative people fucking up society. That's what they really think. Or else they wouldn't. They really think that, or else they wouldn't be doing this. Because would you do this thinking about, well, how would you want your daughter to be raised? How would you want your daughter to think of things? As a matter of fact, I think they're hypocrites. I think deep down they wouldn't want their own daughter to do this. When they raise their daughters, they're going to shield them from corrupted things. They want them to be as innocent for as long as possible, which is a good thing. Do you think that they want their kids, these people who work at Snapchat, do you think they want their daughters looking at all this crap that they've got on their front page, on this explore page? I don't think so. I think they're hypocrites.
I don't think so, yeah.
That's hypocrisy. When the standard that you want to apply to others, you genuinely don't think should be applied to you. That's hypocrisy. That's real hypocrisy.
Yeah, it's just a mess. But going back to what you're saying as well about the notion of what kids are finding, exploring, I feel like kids are always going to seek out things that are like, rebel, or things that they shouldn't be looking at, right? They're always be looking at that, But in saying that, I like the internet prior to all this shit happening, rather than, okay, we're YouTube, this is what we think is good or bad. Okay, we're Facebook, this is what we think is good or bad. Twitter, etc. These monopoly companies saying what they think is good and bad, and for kids as appropriate, Well, they're like the Snapchat thing, right? They're showing content that's weird and gross, rather than just go at least search them out themselves and make their own assumptions.
Well, it's like this, right? The internet nowadays has become a little bit like peak cable TV in the 90s. You've got like a couple of operators that really control everything, in the sense that, I mean, you have a choice, it's like in the 90s, you could watch community TV. It's shit, Or you can watch these other places that really curate what they want you to see. They set the agenda. And you've got that. You got YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, the others. You got all these social medias, and people rarely use the internet outside of these web plus net. It's very rare for people to consume content regularly outside of these websites. They have sort of a oligarchy going on, where it's for a small group of people who control, a small group of organizations controlling this. And there was once a time when the internet was a little bit more freeform than. It wasn't as well connected. It wasn't as rich with media. It was a lot harder to find your like-minded community back then. It really was. It was a lot harder. But it was the Wild West in a way. And I kind of miss that. I do miss that.
Yeah.
I miss that a lot. Hey, but we have memes now.
That's true. That's true. Everyone knows. My grandparents know what memes are. That's something I thought 6 or 7 years ago. Nah, I'm not going to know what a meme is.
Yeah.
Like, they know exactly what a meme is. It's weird.
Yeah. I had my
It's
family
scary.
chat with all my uncles and aunties and taking turns posting like memes that had celebrity puns and some of them were pretty funny actually. Yeah. It was just like, is my mom posting memes? I was like, what is this world come to?
I know. I would never have guessed that when I was a kid mucking
I
around
know.
the internet.
Yeah, like what? Oh man. But I mean, I think with kids though, it still comes down to parenting, doesn't it? And I think sorry, back to what you were saying about kids are always gonna find what's rebellious. And it's really their nature. It's the nature of children to push boundaries. That's actually true. I just think that maybe the internet nowadays is making it too easy to push the boundaries. Like, for example, nowadays a kid could just log on, maybe when his parents just leave him go, beheading video, and like watch an ISIS cunt just slice some dude open, right? Just like that. Or just watch like, you just look up some chick taking like 3 dicks in the face. Like, it's just a little bit too much too easy, Like when we were kids, and I remember this, if you wanted to look at naughty stuff, someone would bring in like a Playboy magazine, like, and you'd have to go around the back of the school and like quickly check it out, put it back.
Yeah.
That was it, right? But now you got mobile phones, and then you've even got apps that hide the app icon and makes it look like it's not an app. Like, it's just too easy now. I think it's just too easy. It's just too easy to have your innocence taken away. I think that's what I think. That's what I'm observing. It still comes down to parents. Maybe parents have new parents now have a much bigger challenge ahead of them in that sense. Kids' innocence is being taken away so quickly. You can see that. You can see kids acting so grown up. In some ways, we're quite proud of them for being so grown up so early. But I think, should they be so grown up so early? Shouldn't we let them be kids for as long as possible until it's time for them to grow up? Like, let them have their childhood, The internet has got so many pros and cons to it, honestly. There's so many pitfalls to it. I almost think, and I've become very enamored with the way the computer development world was. I read a book, Dealers of Lightning, which I'll get into maybe in an episode. But when computers were purely tools to enhance our lives, right? Like in the 80s, it was like, it was to do business better. Maybe it was to do some bookings better. Let's do this and that better, right? But it wasn't meant to invade and replace aspects of it. It was just meant to be a tool that was going to make your life better. We never imagined how much it was going to play a part in some ways in corrupting our kids or misguiding our kids, or getting them addicted to something. Like I grew up loving video games. Don't get me wrong, but like the games that are so finely tuned now, like they're so tuned to dip into sort of that endorphin release and to trigger that addictive behavior and to keep you on a never-ending reward feeling. They're designed now psychologically almost to keep you hooked on purpose, not by accident. You're not getting hooked by accident anymore. I think that's the problem as well. You're not getting hooked by accident on Facebook or on these games. They are designed to get you addicted. It's like designing a drug. It's like a designer drug, except it's not a substance. It's all electronic. And I think there's something dangerous about that. It didn't used to exist. I don't have the answers. I haven't got answers, but yeah.
They've got Twitter got called out recently. So if you imagine holding a phone in your hand, right, and you put your finger on the top of the screen and you swipe it down, right, to update the feed. So that was designed by some psychologists, right? And they've actually done studies and they've realized that they designed it like a poker machine. So you're constantly spinning for information. Yeah, you're spinning it like for information, like you're pulling down a poker machine to randomly get information about what's going on, you know what I mean? So it's literally, like you said, designed to be addictive. It's the same thing with like games like Dota or League of Legends or a game where you're playing Counter-Strike, right? You're killing someone, kind of like your survival mechanism is playing in, and you're getting a reward for it. So you do it over and over and over again, tapping into that primal thing that makes us humans to go, I need this thing, do it again.
And the level progression system that needs to be added in every game. This didn't used to exist when we were young.
I hate the level progression. I just want to play the game.
It's just tapping into that zone of proximal development where it's like, you don't want to get your ass handed to, you can't be completely out of your range of ability, can't be too comfortable either, but you're constantly being pressed because CS is a hard game anyway, but you always get another level, you get leveled up, it's just another one. It's another level. Keeps you on that fucking, just keeps you on that cycle. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Yeah, it is.
Fun.
It is dangerous, man. What do we? And I guess the thing I think I have to say is, who's having these conversations? Because I don't know anyone who's thinking about this at all. It's like, that's just it is. Who cares?
We're just letting the world roll by like this. Yeah, and look, I think that's served people well enough in the past. You know, TV replaced radio, and then suddenly you could have VHS, so it wasn't just TV. You could have TV whenever you wanted if you had the movies, DVDs, and then you had cable TV, which was just hundreds of channels you wanted. And then that's sort of evolved into sort of computer gaming and video gaming, which kind of killed the music industry a little. Apparently, the arcade killed music.
I can imagine that.
Yeah, because you have limited funds, right? Then you have the internet, which is just unlimited. Like, as long as you got the connection.
It's pretty crazy what you do, yeah.
So I think it just comes back to that idea that I always point out as the singularity, where we're getting all these advancements so quickly, we don't know how to deal with it. And the old way of dealing with it isn't good enough. It's like you said, who's asking these questions? Who's talking about it? The social impact of our technological advancement. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of studies out there. There are. We've pulled up some.
Yeah.
But I think more needs to be looked into about that. Like, how do we deal with this thing? How does it affect, like, when a kid grows up wanting Alexa more than mum and dad? We need to ask the question now. We're like, hey, fuck, man. That kid might grow up with more affinity towards technology than their own parents. Who knows? How do we know? They might grow up being super cold. We just don't know. Who's asking these questions? And it's only getting more crazy with this fucking HoloLens that tracks your eye to make it really 3D.
I don't like the HoloLens.
Yeah, you saw that JLL video about the future work. It looks exhausting, yeah. It looks awesome, but exhausting, yeah.
Yeah, so explain quickly to the people like what a HoloLens is. Just like
Okay, so the HoloLens is a Microsoft augmented reality headset. It goes over your eyes, and it tracks your eyeballs to create holograms that look truly 3D. For the first time, it's constantly changing the angle of like 3D imagery to create holograms in your eyes that exist in real space. So if you created a sphere at a spot and you look back, it'll always be there, right? So the whole purpose of this is to have information everywhere and anywhere you want it in any way.
It's like a video game or like a Star Trek type thing.
Turn your whole life into a video game. On the wall there, you want a TV, it'll be a TV. If you want your Skype call here next to your table, good. If you want the graph on the floor, have it on the floor. If you want it in 3D, 2D, whatever, right? You can have information in a free-form way, however you want it, interact with it and share it. You know, using your hands as a gesture, keyboard and mouse. Of course, you need the keyboard and mouse to continue to create information. And then there was that concept video from JLL, which is a property office type company, about the future of work and like everything being augmented everywhere, like fucking pathways to walk, prompts everywhere. You look at a meeting room,
emails buzzing. There's like colors and shapes and shit everywhere. I watched like 2 minutes and I'm like, I'm exhausted, man. Oh my god, no, they can't do this to me. I just want real life. I don't want that shit.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen
though.
It is gonna happen. Yeah, exactly. Like it's gonna change how we do work, and I feel like we're part of that older generation that's not gonna be very comfortable with it. But yeah, unfortunately, we're gonna have to deal with it, and I think you're right. I think it is gonna be, and I think at some point people are gonna be looking at themselves in the mirror, going, "I'm getting fucking worn out by this whole thing, dude.
I'm a robot."
I'm like jacked into this system.
Yeah.
You're like jacked into this system. The moment I put this headset thing on, and when they make the headsets really small and unnoticeable, that's when people will just be permanently locked in, just the way they're permanently locked into their smartphone. People are
already in there now. Yeah.
Oh man, questions to be asked. You know, I don't have answers to that, but it's just something that's on my mind now. I mean, I for one think it's pretty cool though. Like, I think those headsets are pretty cool. Imagine augmented reality. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first thing you would do, wouldn't it? You'd be looking up you know what I'd be doing? I'd be like picking up chicks not that hot and just putting a really hot face onto it. Yes.
I'd like be lying on my chair with like a headset on, just be like, yeah. Just feel like touching the air. You know, I was thinking like the whole VR porno thing. It's just too risky, man. Because if you had a headphones on and a VR headset on, like you won't know if someone comes in and looks like, what the fuck are you doing? You wouldn't even hear it.
Yeah, you
have
wouldn't.
Like headphones. It just means like, oh yeah.
You could have a flashlight on with VR. The VR, if it's doing the work for you, so someone just comes in.
You just lying there with your hands behind your head, just like, oh yeah, man, fuck. Tuned out to the world, or you're just completely jacked in. getting jacked in so you can
Get jacked off.
Oh shit!
All right.
Well, that's about all we got time for, guys. That was a very quick hour.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Flew by.
Good to be back, boys. Good to be back. Oh, and ladies and gents and boys
And transgenders. And other sex. And other kin.
That's true. I'm supportive. I'm supportive of all two genders.
Oh, shit.
Oh
Okay.
shit! Well, this is Eric
And this is Kain.
signing off.
Signing off.
Till next
See
time.
you guys.
Bye.
Bye.